If you're a man over 60 living in America, there's a good chance you have felt the slow, invisible drain of energy that no one warned you about. Maybe you still work a full-time job, or perhaps you've retired after decades on the move. Either way, you may have noticed that getting out of bed is a bit harder, that your mind sometimes lags, and that the fire in your belly, the motivation that once carried you through every challenge, now flickers and dims by midday. I want to begin with a simple truth. You are not alone, and you are not broken. But let me paint a fuller picture, one that I have seen play out in clinics, small towns, big cities, and family living rooms all across the United States. This is the story of the hidden energy crisis in men over 60, a crisis that is silent, misunderstood, and yet incredibly common. Imagine early morning in Minnesota, the snow just starting to fall, as 73-year-old Don opens his eyes and instantly feels weighed down. Don spent his youth on farms, his middle years as a truck driver. Now, even with plenty of sleep, he wakes up feeling as if he ran a marathon in his dreams. Don's wife, Linda, watches him shuffle through breakfast, often just coffee and toast, and worries about the spark she remembers from their younger days. Travel south to sunny Florida. Here we find Ray, 68, a retired school principal. Ray sits by his pool, reading the newspaper, but his mind wanders. The kids and grandkids are coming for a visit, but Ray already feels tired at the thought of chasing them around the yard. He used to swim laps every morning, but now his energy rarely keeps up with his ambitions. In the heart of Chicago, we meet Eric, a 65-year-old who spent decades as a city police officer. He's proud of his service and loves telling stories at family gatherings. But lately, he finds himself forgetting names, missing the punchlines, and feeling a subtle anxiety he can't quite explain. His wife Marcia notices he sits more and jokes less. Eric wonders if his sharpness and stamina are gone for good. These are not rare cases. In my 3 decades as a physician, these stories have become so familiar that I see them everywhere. From the men sitting alone at diners in the Midwest to the retired couples walking slowly around the parks in California. They all share a feeling that something essential has been lost. A sense of energy, of possibility, of being themselves. But what is really happening? Why does energy seem to drain away? Not with a bang, but with a whisper. Let's look beneath the surface, deeper than the cliches about just getting old. For much of the 20th century, doctors and society alike told men that declining energy, memory, desire, and physical strength were just the price of aging. Slow down, take it easy, accept your limitations. But this narrative ignores what modern science and real-life experience now make clear. Age is only one part of the story. The rest has everything to do with what we eat, how we move, how we rest, and how we connect with the world. In my years of practice, I began to see the patterns. Most men over 60 across backgrounds, races, professions, and income make the same 3 mistakes. First, they skip or rush breakfast. So many men, like my patient Frank in Denver, believe that coffee alone will get them through until lunch. By noon, they're running on fumes, and their bodies are already stressed. Second, they drift away from whole foods, especially fruits. At family gatherings, I see plates piled with meats and starches, but rarely a fresh fruit in sight. Ed, a 70-year-old from New Jersey, once told me, "Doc, I haven't eaten a banana in years, and I can't even remember the last time I bought berries or a pomegranate." Third, men often normalize fatigue. When I ask about their energy, most shrug and say, "That's just how it is now." But when we dig deeper, it's clear that they are frustrated by their forgetfulness, annoyed by their lack of drive, and even embarrassed by how often they pass up opportunities for adventure, intimacy, or play. The energy crisis doesn't arrive overnight. It builds up, quietly, over years. It's the result of small habits: skipping fruit at breakfast, grabbing fast food, sitting too long at the computer or in front of the TV. It's reinforced by stress, loneliness, and a subtle but persistent sense of falling behind. Consider the story of Thomas, a 69-year-old from Dallas, Texas. For decades, Thomas led a local business and coached youth baseball. After retirement, he imagined travel and time with family, but instead found himself napping during the day, feeling less interested in outings, and even forgetting appointments. He'd always assumed that real decline would be obvious, dramatic weight loss, serious illness. Instead, it crept in quietly, eroding his confidence and his sense of purpose. When I first met Thomas, he told me, "I used to be the one everyone relied on. Now I feel invisible, sometimes even to myself." As we talked, it became clear that Thomas, like so many men his age, had stopped prioritizing himself. His meals were rushed, his movement less intentional, his social connections limited to occasional phone calls or TV sports. The hidden energy crisis in men over 60 is not just about feeling tired. It affects everything: memory, mood, relationships, sexual health, even longevity. Researchers at Harvard and the Mayo Clinic have shown that men who feel chronically fatigued are more likely to develop depression, struggle with blood sugar and blood pressure, and experience earlier decline in brain function. It's not just science, it's life. Let me tell you about Joe, a 72-year-old grandfather in Ohio. Joe's grandkids adore him, but after an hour at the park, he has to sit down, breathing heavily. He gets frustrated with himself, then feels guilty for snapping at his wife when he's tired. On the outside, Joe seems like any other grandpa, but inside, he is mourning the loss of the man he used to be. The emotional impact of low energy is as real as the physical. In countless conversations, men confide that they miss the sense of being the rock for their family, the spark of desire in their marriage, or the feeling of being in command of their own body. They may not say it outright. American men are taught to be stoic, to hide their doubts. But it's there in the way they lower their voices, look away, or laugh nervously about slowing down. Mike, a retired firefighter from upstate New York, once told me, "Nobody wants to talk about feeling weak, Doc. We're supposed to be strong, but I feel like I lost my edge, and I don't know how to get it back." American culture prizes youth, vigor, and performance. Men are taught that to lose a step is to lose value. This mindset leads many to hide their struggles, deny their feelings, or seek quick fixes like unproven supplements or dangerous medications, rather than addressing the real roots of declining energy. But here's what I want every man listening to understand. You don't have to accept feeling less than your best. The real key is not to chase youth, but to nourish your body, mind, and spirit so you can thrive at any age. Medical research over the past 2 decades has shattered the myth that aging alone is to blame. New studies show that diet, especially fruit intake, has a profound effect on male vitality after 60. Fruits provide vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and fiber that support the brain, the heart, and the hormonal systems critical for energy. Take vitamin C and potassium, for example, abundant in fruits like oranges, bananas, and pomegranates. These nutrients regulate blood pressure, support nerve function, and keep muscles working. Polyphenols found in berries and pomegranates help relax arteries and reduce inflammation. Fiber helps stabilize blood sugar, preventing the spikes and crashes that drain motivation. More importantly, fruits support mental health. They are rich in compounds that foster serotonin and dopamine production, helping men maintain a positive outlook and emotional resilience. The connection between diet and mood is now proven and profound. So why do so many men stop eating fruits after 60? There are many reasons. Some never developed the habit. Others, like my patient Doug in San Diego, grew up believing fruit was kid food or only for dessert. Others find fruit inconvenient, hard to peel, messy, or simply not part of their breakfast or lunch routine. Men living alone may not shop as often, and busy grandfathers may prioritize everyone else's needs over their own. But the consequences of neglecting fruit are real when I work with patients to reintroduce fruit into their diet. Even a single serving at breakfast or an afternoon snack, the difference is often remarkable. Consider Larry, a 76-year-old jazz musician from New Orleans. For years, Larry struggled with brain fog and low mood. He thought it was the cost of the road. But when we reviewed his diet, he realized he rarely ate fresh produce. By simply adding half an avocado to his daily breakfast and a banana in the afternoon, Larry regained his mental sharpness and found new joy in playing music. Or think of Steve, a 70-year-old in Seattle, who always loved gardening, but found himself too tired to spend time outdoors. When Steve began eating more fruit starting with berries and eventually working up to daily pomegranate juice, he found his energy returning, his passion for gardening reignited, and his afternoons spent in the sunshine once more. Some men hesitate to change because they worry it's too late. Others feel overwhelmed by advice or discouraged by past attempts. But the truth is, the body remains remarkably resilient, even in your 70s and 80s. Studies show that men who make small but consistent improvements to their diet see benefits in energy, memory, and even longevity within weeks or months. It starts with a single step. Maybe today you add a banana to your oatmeal. Tomorrow, you try a slice of avocado toast. Next week, you bring home a pomegranate and experiment with the seeds. It doesn't have to be complicated, and it doesn't have to be perfect. The hidden energy crisis in men over 60 is not just a personal problem. It's a family and community issue. When men regain their energy and confidence, they become more involved fathers, grandfathers, and husbands. They rediscover hobbies, volunteer in their neighborhoods, travel with friends, and even mentor younger generations. I have seen men who were on the verge of giving up, men like Stan, a 78-year-old from Oklahoma, who once told me he felt done. By simply improving his nutrition and building daily fruit habits, Stan began walking with his daughter, rejoining his church choir, and even helping organize a local fundraiser. "I have something to offer again," he said. "That means everything." As we look ahead, I want every man over 60 to remember, you have not peaked. There is more to your story. The energy you seek is not locked in the past. It is waiting to be unlocked by small, consistent choices. It is never too late to start, and you do not need to do it alone. Talk to your doctor, your spouse, or a trusted friend. Share your struggles and goals. Invite others to join you in rebuilding not just your body, but your sense of adventure, connection, and meaning. As you begin this journey, remember that your legacy is not measured only by what you did in your 20s or 40s. It is measured by how you choose to live each day from this moment forward. This is just the beginning. In the next section, we will explore how 3 simple fruits, pomegranate, avocado, and banana can, become powerful allies in your journey toward renewed vitality and a richer, more vibrant life after 60. In my decades as a men's health doctor across the United States, I've met men from every background: farmers in Iowa, retired engineers in Michigan, musicians in Louisiana, and grandfathers in California. Despite their differences, they share a hidden link. Their bodies are quietly craving something most have forgotten. This something is not found in a bottle or a pharmacy. It's not the latest health fad. It's the silent power of the foods nature made for us: fruits. When I first started my practice, I underestimated the importance of the produce aisle. Like many, I assumed fruit was just a source of sugar, best left for dessert or the lunchbox. But the stories and science began piling up. I saw men, many well into their 70s, rediscover their drive, their joy, and their health simply by bringing certain fruits back into their daily lives. The key, I discovered, is not to try every exotic superfood on the market, but to focus on three powerhouses: pomegranate, avocado, and banana. Let me take you into the real world, with real men and their real stories. Rediscovering strength in the most ordinary places. Meet Richard, a 70-year-old former construction manager in Ohio. Richard once believed his best days were behind him. He stopped working out, rarely joined his family at the park, and found himself restless, even irritable. One afternoon, his daughter Emily asked, "Dad, why don't you come to the lake with us anymore?" Richard hesitated, embarrassed to admit that he was always tired and didn't want anyone to notice. But change started in the simplest way. During a routine visit, I suggested he start adding just 3 fruits to his week. "Doc, it can't be that simple," he said, shaking his head. "Trust me," I replied. "Nature built these fruits for men like you." That night, Richard went to the store, picking up pomegranates, a bag of avocados, and a bunch of bananas. He began a simple experiment, eating at least one of these fruits every day. Within 2 weeks, he found himself joining Emily's family walks. By the end of the month, he was tossing a football with his grandson at the lake. "I got my groove back," he told me, beaming. "I forgot how good I could feel. Why these 3 fruits? Let's dive into why these fruits are different and why your body responds so powerfully. First, let's talk about pomegranate. This deep red fruit is not just for decoration or holiday platters. It is packed with polyphenols, natural compounds that clean, relax, and restore your blood vessels. As men age, arteries stiffen and the risk of high blood pressure and poor circulation rises. Pomegranate juice, backed by research from the University of California and other leading institutions, is proven to increase nitric oxide. This allows your arteries to open, your blood to flow, and your energy to return. Not just in your heart, but everywhere it matters. Consider Alan, a 68-year-old in Arizona, who suffered from cold hands and feet and always felt sluggish. He also struggled with intimacy and restless sleep. When he began drinking a small glass of pomegranate juice each morning, he noticed the difference within a fortnight. "My hands and feet don't feel frozen anymore, Doc," Alan reported. "And my wife says I'm not snoring as much." Second, avocado. This creamy green fruit is more than just a trend for millennials. It's a hormone-reviving miracle for older men. Testosterone, the core driver of male vitality, needs healthy fats and minerals to be produced and balanced. Avocado is rich in monounsaturated fats, magnesium, and vitamin B6, all of which support hormone balance, brain function, and mood. Let me tell you about Samuel, a retired Navy officer in Virginia. Samuel prided himself on discipline, but confessed to feeling hollow and not himself. Together, we examined his diet and found it was low in fats, especially the good kind. When Samuel began including half an avocado at breakfast, sometimes with eggs, sometimes just on whole grain toast, his sense of masculinity returned. "I thought it was just age," Samuel told me, "but now I feel steady again. My mind is sharper, and I feel stronger in every way." Finally, banana. The banana is so common, many overlook its deep power. Bananas are loaded with potassium and magnesium, vital for the heart and nerves, as well as vitamin B6, which aids the brain and boosts energy. Unlike processed sugar or bread, bananas give a slow, steady fuel supporting your focus, memory, and mood. Pat, a 75-year-old jazz musician in New Orleans, always skipped breakfast, blaming his fatigue on late nights and getting older. I challenged him to eat a banana first thing every morning for a month. Not only did Pat regain energy, but he also started composing new music for the first time in years. "I'm awake in my soul again," Pat laughed, his fingers drumming on the table. You may wonder, why do these 3 fruits together make such a difference? The answer lies in the synergy of their nutrients. Pomegranate opens the pathways restoring blood flow, delivering oxygen and nutrients more efficiently. Avocado fuels the body's hormone engine, giving you the raw materials to maintain testosterone and resist stress. Banana delivers the steady, day-long energy that your cells, muscles, and brain rely on. Together, they create a triangle of support for your circulation, your hormones, and your energy. Where one fruit helps, the others reinforce. Where you are weak, they build you up from multiple angles. It's not magic, it's how your body was designed to work, given the right building blocks. I've heard every excuse. I'm too old to change. Fruits are for kids. I don't have time for breakfast. But then I watch as men who make this tiny adjustment, adding these 3 fruits, rediscover their passion for walking, gardening, traveling, or even reconnecting with their spouses. One of my patients, Charles from Oregon, started a breakfast ritual with his grandson, slicing bananas onto oatmeal, mashing avocado on toast, sharing pomegranate juice while talking about school and life. Not only did Charles feel better, but his grandson became the healthiest kid in his class. It doesn't require fancy recipes. Pomegranate juice can be found at any supermarket. Bananas are affordable and portable. Avocado can be eaten plain or tossed into salads. The hardest part is making the habit stick for a few weeks. But once the energy returns, most men never look back. What I love most is how these small changes ripple out. I've seen men start neighborhood walking groups after they felt more energetic. I've watched marriages rekindle and family reunions become lively again. When men regain their strength, they don't just improve their own lives, they lift up everyone around them. It's not about chasing youth or denying age. It's about honoring the body's wisdom, giving it what it quietly craves, and letting nature's design do its healing work. I have seen this work for truck drivers in Nebraska, barbers in Chicago, high school coaches in Texas, and ranchers in Wyoming. Age, race, or background doesn't matter. The body always responds to care, to nourishment, and to the right fuel. A gentle challenge. If you are listening now and thinking, could this really work for me? The only way to know is to try. Go to your grocery store. Pick up pomegranates, avocados, bananas. Start small. Notice how your mornings change, how your confidence grows, how you show up for your wife, your friends, your grandchildren. If you stumble, begin again. It's the habit done day after day that brings the deepest results. So as you finish this section, know that the answer isn't in a supplement, a magic pill, or an impossible promise. It's in the gentle power of 3 simple fruits, used as nature intended. This is where true vitality for men over 60 begins, not just in the body, but in the heart, the mind, and the everyday moments that make life beautiful. Imagine standing in your local grocery store, walking through the fruit section and spotting a bright red, thick-skinned fruit that looks almost like a jewel. Most shoppers in America walk right past the pomegranate, barely noticing its unique beauty. Some might remember it from childhood. Others see it as too messy, or simply an exotic fruit for holidays and fancy recipes. But hidden inside that crimson globe is one of the most powerful tools for men's health. Especially if you're over 60 and feeling the weight of slowing circulation. For men, circulation is everything. Blood flow doesn't just keep your heart beating. It brings oxygen and nutrients to every cell, powers your muscles, supports your brain, and yes, makes intimacy possible. When circulation declines, so do energy, memory, and confidence. In my years as a doctor, I've met countless men who had accepted poor circulation as their new normal. Take the story of Greg, a 72-year-old retired builder from Michigan. Greg's handshake used to be legendary strong and warm, the grip of a man who built homes and carried lumber. But over the years, his hands became cold, his feet numb, and he found himself feeling weak, especially in the mornings. Greg's story isn't unique. I've seen it in former factory workers in Ohio, retired teachers in Maine, even marathon runners from California. "Doc, I just don't have the stamina I used to," they'd say. "My arms and legs tire out. My head feels cloudy. I wake up at night and can't get back to sleep. Is it just age?" For years, doctors answered yes. But the real answer I've found is not entirely. The loss of circulation that plagues men over 60 is partly from aging, but largely from lifestyle, especially the foods we eat or don't eat. And this is where the pomegranate shines. Pomegranate isn't new. It's been cherished for thousands of years in cultures from the Middle East to the Mediterranean. Ancient warriors drank pomegranate juice before battle for stamina. It's even been found in Egyptian tombs and painted in Greek temples as a symbol of vitality and rebirth. But what does pomegranate mean for the modern American man? Let me share the story of Alan, a retired high school football coach from Texas. Alan's days used to begin before dawn, on the field with his players, his energy contagious. After retirement, things changed. He started to wake up tired, feet tingling, and his confidence faded, especially in the bedroom. His doctor prescribed pills for blood pressure and sleep, but Alan wanted something natural. When Alan came to see me, we talked about his diet. He ate well lean meats, some vegetables, but rarely fruit. I explained the science. Pomegranate is rich in polyphenols, especially punicalagin and ellagic acid, which act like fuel for blood vessels. They help relax the arteries, increase nitric oxide, and allow blood to flow more freely. Skeptical but hopeful, Alan began drinking 6 ounces of pure pomegranate juice every morning. At first, he noticed a little more energy. After 2 weeks, he told me he was sleeping through the night, and his wife joked that he was acting 20 years younger. Even his hands felt warm again, and his morning walks became longer and more enjoyable. The magic of pomegranate lies in its effect on the endothelium, the thin layer of cells lining your blood vessels. Over time, stress, poor diet, and lack of certain nutrients cause the endothelium to stiffen. This makes it harder for blood to flow, raising blood pressure and robbing muscles and organs of oxygen. Polyphenols in pomegranate act like repairmen for your arteries. They fight inflammation, reduce oxidative stress, and trigger the release of nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is the molecule that signals your blood vessels to open up, lowering pressure and improving circulation everywhere it matters, from your heart to your brain, your legs, and beyond. The impact is real. In clinical studies at UCLA and in Europe, men over 60 who drank pomegranate juice daily experienced significant improvements in arterial flexibility and blood flow within weeks. Some even reported measurable improvements in sexual health and energy without the side effects of prescription drugs. But circulation is only part of the story. Pomegranate also supports the prostate, which is critical as men age and face urinary challenges, lowers inflammation throughout the body, protecting joints and reducing pain, provides vitamin C, potassium, and fiber, supporting overall health and digestion, delivers antioxidants that fight free radicals, those harmful molecules that speed up aging. This means the benefits go far beyond just better stamina. You may notice clearer thinking, easier movement, and even a brighter mood. Let's return to Greg, the builder from Michigan. After a month of pomegranate, Greg didn't just feel stronger. He told me his memory felt sharper, and he had started to tackle projects around the house again, something he hadn't done in years. Some men resist adding pomegranate, thinking it's too expensive or unfamiliar. Here's the good news. Pure pomegranate juice is widely available in American grocery stores. If you prefer, you can buy whole pomegranates and eat the seeds, sprinkling them on oatmeal or yogurt. If you find the taste tart, try mixing the juice with water or adding a splash to your morning smoothie. The key is to make it a habit, part of your daily ritual, just like coffee or tea. Let me share one more story. Robert, a 75-year-old jazz saxophonist from New Orleans, used to joke that fruit was for the kids. But after a heart scare, he decided to give Pomegranate a shot. 2 months later, Robert was back to playing gigs, walking the French Quarter with his wife, and even leading a group of fellow musicians in a morning walk, each with a bottle of juice in hand. Many men ask, is it safe to drink pomegranate juice if I'm on medication? For most, the answer is yes, but check with your doctor if you're on blood thinners. Others ask about sugar. Pure pomegranate juice does contain natural sugars, but its fiber and antioxidant content help slow absorption, and the benefits to blood vessels outweigh the mild rise in blood sugar for most men. If you have diabetes, keep portions moderate and pair juice with a protein-rich breakfast. If you're on a tight budget, know that even adding pomegranate once or twice a week is better than none. Consistency, not perfection, is the real secret. Pomegranate is more than a fruit. It's a message from nature, a reminder that healing can be simple. The blood that runs through your veins is your life force, connecting heart, mind, muscle, and spirit. By supporting that flow with pomegranate, you're giving yourself the chance to experience not just more years, but more life in every year. So next time you walk the produce aisle, don't pass by the pomegranate. See it as a friend, a key, a bridge to renewed energy and confidence. Like Greg, Alan, and Robert, you may rediscover a strength you thought was lost and find, perhaps, that life after 60 is just beginning. If you walk into any American grocery store today, chances are you'll see avocados stacked high, sometimes on special displays with signs touting their superfood status. In California, Texas, Florida, across the country, avocado toast has taken over breakfast menus. Yet, when it comes to men over 60, this humble green fruit is still an unsung hero, quietly holding the keys to restored strength, confidence, and hormone health. Let's step into the life of Harold, a 68-year-old retired insurance adjuster from Colorado. Harold kept himself active, liked to think he ate pretty well, and rarely missed his morning walk. Still, over the years, something shifted. He started feeling softer, not just physically, but in spirit. He was less assertive, sometimes irritable, and his sense of motivation was low. He struggled to finish his crossword puzzles and even lost interest in friendly golf games with his neighbors. At home, Harold's wife Janet noticed her husband's spark had faded. Their conversations grew shorter. Evenings became quieter. Harold tried to shake it off, telling himself it was just part of getting older. But deep down, he wondered if he was losing a part of what made him feel like a man. When Harold came to see me, he shared his frustrations openly. He missed feeling steady, decisive, on top of the world. I asked him to describe his daily eating habits: oatmeal for breakfast, turkey sandwiches for lunch, grilled chicken or fish for dinner. Almost no fats except the occasional splash of olive oil. Fruits sometimes, but almost never avocado. I explained, as men age, one of the most silent shifts is a gradual drop in testosterone. The core hormone for male vitality, confidence, energy, and even mood. But here's the good news. Nature provides the very ingredients the male body needs to maintain healthy testosterone levels. And avocado is one of the richest, most convenient sources. Avocados are more than just a creamy fruit. They're loaded with monounsaturated fats, magnesium, potassium, vitamin B6, vitamin E, zinc, and other micronutrients that fuel your body's own hormone production. These nutrients are essential raw materials for making testosterone and balancing other hormones like cortisol, the stress hormone. Research from the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and studies at American universities show that men who include healthy fats, especially from avocados, nuts, and olive oil, maintain higher testosterone levels, steadier energy, and better mood as they age. But there's more. The vitamin B6 and magnesium in avocados help lower cortisol, that sneaky stress hormone that, over time, sabotages your body's ability to make testosterone. When cortisol is too high for too long, your body essentially turns down testosterone production. Avocado's nutrients turn this around, quietly and powerfully. Harold agreed to a simple experiment. Half an avocado a day, either on whole grain toast, with eggs, or mixed into his lunchtime salad. Within a week, he noticed he was sleeping more deeply and waking up with more energy. Within 2 weeks, Janet told me, "He's back!" He's joking at dinner. He's got plans for the weekend, and he's even challenging his friends to golf again. Harold's story is echoed in clinics and kitchens all over America. Take Robert, a 71-year-old carpenter from Michigan who struggled with feeling dull and disconnected. Adding avocado to his routine helped him regain mental clarity and drive. He started volunteering at a local community center, something he hadn't done in years. Or think of Jerry, a retired police officer from New Jersey. Jerry never liked trendy foods, but after he started adding avocado to his omelets and salads, his wife noticed he was less irritable and had more patience with their grandkids. These aren't isolated cases. They're part of a larger pattern I see every week. Men over 60 rediscovering themselves, not through drastic diets or pills, but by fueling their bodies with the right nutrients at the right time. Many men try to boost their energy and mood with red meat, butter, or even testosterone supplements. But animal fats are often linked with inflammation and cholesterol issues, and testosterone therapy can cause more harm than good if not medically necessary. Avocado, on the other hand, provides healthy plant-based fats that support heart health, brain health, and hormone production without clogging arteries. The fiber in avocados also slows down the absorption of sugars from other foods, keeping your blood sugar stable and your energy steady. Plus, avocados are versatile. You can eat them savory or sweet, blend them into smoothies, spread them on toast, add them to salads, or simply enjoy them with a squeeze of lemon and a dash of salt. Let's talk science for a moment. Studies conducted at American universities have demonstrated that men who consume monounsaturated fats, particularly from avocados, show improved blood lipid profiles and better testosterone balance compared to those who rely mostly on animal fats or processed oils. One study from UCLA found that middle-aged and older men who ate avocados daily had lower rates of metabolic syndrome, a cluster of conditions including high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and excess belly fat. But the results go beyond blood work. In my practice, I've seen men regain mental sharpness, motivation, and that sense of inner stability, the feeling of being anchored in themselves. Men report better sleep, calmer moods, more resilience to stress, and renewed interest in relationships and hobbies. You might wonder, how do you actually build this habit? Start small. Slice half an avocado and pair it with your breakfast, or add it to your salad at lunch. If you're traveling, avocados travel well. Just bring a spoon and a small container of salt and pepper. For those on a budget, avocados are now widely available and often go on sale at big supermarkets. If you find the taste bland, try mashing avocado with a touch of garlic or a sprinkle of chili flakes. Some men love it blended into smoothies. Others eat it straight from the skin with a dash of hot sauce. There's no wrong way, just make it consistent. Some men feel awkward about buying or preparing avocados, thinking it's not manly or is just for health nuts. But I've watched former steelworkers in Pennsylvania, truckers from Oklahoma, and ranchers in Montana become avocado fans once they notice the results. Often, their wives and grandkids join in, making it a fun family routine. If you forget a day, don't worry. Just start again the next. What matters most is the pattern, not perfection. Avocado's power is subtle, almost invisible until you feel it in your daily life. It doesn't shout, but it builds. Day by day, it supports your hormones, restores your energy, and returns the confidence that may have faded with time. As Harold, Robert, and Jerry discovered, You don't need to chase youth or fight age. Instead, you can build strength from within, honoring your body's needs and watching the benefits ripple into every part of your life. So, next time you're at the store, pick up a few avocados. Give them a try. You may just find that this humble fruit is the ally you've been missing, your silent partner on the journey to feeling like yourself again. Imagine waking up in a small town in Ohio. The sun is barely peeking over the rooftops. You sit at your kitchen table, look out the window, and sigh at the thought of another long, tiring day. You used to be up and moving before dawn, chopping wood, fixing things, chasing your kids or grandkids around the yard. But lately, you feel as if you've lost your spark. This is the experience of countless American men over 60, from the quiet neighborhoods of Vermont to the rolling hills of Tennessee and the sprawling suburbs of California. Yet, the answer to this invisible drain on your energy may be hiding in plain sight, right on your kitchen counter, the humble banana. Let me introduce you to Walter, a 74-year-old retired school principal from Georgia. Walter spent his entire career waking up early, commanding classrooms, and keeping up with energetic students. When he retired, he thought he would finally enjoy leisure golf, gardening, spending time with his wife Linda and their grandchildren. But retirement brought unexpected fatigue. He found himself skipping breakfast, reaching for a cup of coffee and little else, feeling tired before noon. One day, Walter's daughter Lisa asked, "Dad, why don't you come play in the park with us anymore?" Walter shrugged, too embarrassed to admit that he felt exhausted even before he'd had his second cup of coffee. That's when he came to see me. Most men underestimate just how much the body relies on the right fuel, especially after 60. It's not just about calories. It's about the right nutrients reaching your cells, your brain, and your heart. Bananas are a unique package, easy to digest, rich in potassium and magnesium, high in vitamin B6 and fiber, and containing natural compounds that stabilize blood sugar and nurture nerve function. Potassium is critical for heart health and for keeping blood pressure in check, a key issue as men age. Magnesium supports muscle function, relieves cramps, and helps regulate mood. Vitamin B6, present in bananas, assists the brain in making serotonin and dopamine, the chemicals responsible for a good mood, restful sleep, and clear thinking. But bananas go further. They contain tryptophan, an amino acid that supports natural relaxation and helps fight off stress and anxiety. Their fiber content helps slow the absorption of natural sugars, providing sustained, smooth energy rather than the sharp spike and crash from sweet pastries or white bread. Walter agreed to a small experiment. For 2 weeks, he'd start every morning with a banana, a glass of water, and a tablespoon of nut butter. No fancy diets, no skipping meals, just a simple, natural routine. The results were remarkable. After just a few days, I felt less shaky in the mornings. My energy lasted into the afternoon, and Linda said she noticed I was laughing more, helping out around the house, even making plans to meet old friends, Walter said. After a month, he was going to the park again, enjoying time with his grandkids, and finishing his day with a sense of accomplishment he hadn't felt in years. He's not alone. Across the country, I've seen banana breakfasts transform mornings for men of every background: truck drivers in Missouri, former lawyers in Oregon, ranchers in Montana, and jazz musicians in New Orleans. Bananas provide the kind of energy that isn't loud or fleeting. It's the steady current that lets you think clearly, move confidently, and live each day with intention. Too often, men reach for quick fixes: a donut, a muffin, a processed cereal, or just black coffee. These choices give a burst of energy, but the crash comes quickly, leaving you more tired than before. Bananas, in contrast, offer both immediate and sustained benefits. Their nutrients begin working in minutes, raising blood sugar gently, supporting hydration, and providing potassium that immediately supports your heart and muscles. What's more, bananas are easy on the stomach, require no preparation, and are portable. Whether you're at home, traveling, or in a hurry, they're a breakfast you can rely on. Energy isn't just about moving your body, it's about engaging with life. When your energy stabilizes, everything improves. Your mood, your memory, your ability to be present for your family and friends. You might find yourself more patient with your spouse, more attentive to conversations, or more willing to take up old hobbies. Take Martin, a 66-year-old Navy veteran from California. After decades of waking up at dawn, he retired and found himself sleeping in, feeling sluggish and gaining weight. He added a banana to his breakfast every morning, pairing it with a few almonds. Not only did he lose weight, but he also found himself joining a local hiking group, reconnecting with old shipmates, and even volunteering at a community center. "It's not just the banana, Doc," Martin said. "It's what having more energy gave me, my life back." Or look at Dennis, a 70-year-old former auto mechanic from Illinois, who used to nap every afternoon and felt foggy most of the day. After making bananas a daily habit, Dennis started using his afternoons to tinker in his garage again. Fixing old radios and bikes activities he thought he'd lost interest in forever. As men age, the digestive system slows down. Heavy breakfasts or too much sugar can cause stomach upset or dramatic swings in blood sugar. Bananas are ideal, they're gentle, promote good digestion, and can even help regulate bowel movements, a problem that troubles many older men. Bananas also support cardiovascular health. The potassium in a single banana can help lower blood pressure and reduce the risk of heart disease. In fact, the American Heart Association recommends bananas as a daily food for those aiming to keep their hearts strong. What about those worried about diabetes or blood sugar? Bananas, especially when eaten with some protein or healthy fat, like nut butter or yogurt, release their natural sugars slowly. For most men, this means no sudden spikes or crashes. Of course, if you're under medical care, check with your doctor, but I've found bananas fit well into most health plans. The best part about bananas is how easy they are to work into your life. Here are some ideas from men I've worked with. Slice bananas onto oatmeal, yogurt, or peanut butter toast. Keep a banana in your car, backpack, or desk for a quick, healthy snack. Freeze banana slices to blend into smoothies or mix into cottage cheese for a cool, creamy treat. Pair a banana with a handful of nuts for a balanced breakfast or midday snack. And if you miss a day, no problem, just start again the next morning. The body responds to consistency, not perfection. Something special happens when men make bananas a daily ritual. I've seen fathers and grandfathers share bananas with grandkids at the breakfast table, using the time to talk about the day ahead. I've watched men start banana challenges with their friends or walking groups, building camaraderie and accountability. One of my favorite stories is from Charles, a retired firefighter in Montana. Charles began eating a banana every morning and soon noticed his wife and grandchildren joining him. Breakfast, once a rushed and silent affair, became a time for laughter, planning, and connection. The simple banana became a symbol of renewal, not just of the body, but of relationships. Bananas may not look impressive or expensive, but their value is immeasurable for men over 60. They deliver the nutrients, energy, and stability that are often lost with age. More than just a fruit, bananas can be the first step toward reclaiming your day, your relationships, and your sense of purpose. If you are feeling sluggish, unfocused, or just not yourself, try the banana experiment. Give it 2 weeks. Pay attention to your mornings, your energy, and your mood. Like Walter, Martin, Dennis, and Charles, you may discover that this humble fruit is the partner you've needed all along. Next time you reach for breakfast, don't overlook the banana. It might just bring back the spark you thought was gone forever. In the world of health advice, it's easy to get overwhelmed by long lists of superfoods, complicated meal plans, or fad diets that promise quick results but deliver little lasting change. For men over 60, especially, the simpler a solution, the more likely it is to actually work. But when it comes to energy, vitality, and aging with confidence, a surprising truth emerges. 3 fruits. Pomegranate. Avocado and banana are far more powerful when combined than when used separately. Let me tell you why. Synergy is a word we often hear in science, but what does it mean in everyday life? Imagine a jazz trio, one on piano, one on bass, one on drums. Each musician can play solo, and it's pleasant. But together, something magical happens. The music comes alive. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. That's exactly what happens in your body when you regularly eat pomegranate, avocado, and banana. Each fruit has its own solo, its special nutrients, unique benefits, and role in your health. But together, their effects multiply, filling the gaps that one alone cannot cover, amplifying each other's strengths, and building a foundation for lasting vitality. Take Richard, a 70-year-old retired park ranger from Colorado. Richard had always believed in simple living, but after retirement, he felt life's color slowly fade. He had aches, poor sleep, forgetfulness, and a general sense of flatness. He tried eating more vegetables and even took a multivitamin, but nothing made a real difference. It was only after his daughter Molly, an avid reader of health books, encouraged him to try the trio that things changed. Richard added a small glass of pomegranate juice at breakfast, half an avocado on whole grain toast at lunch, and a banana as his afternoon snack. Within 3 weeks, he reported better energy, clearer thinking, and a lightness in his body he hadn't felt in years. But the most powerful shift, he said, was that life just felt easier. He felt motivated to walk the trails again, spend time with his grandkids, and even take up painting, something he'd always wanted to try, but never had the energy for. Why does this work? The answer is in how these fruits complement each other at a cellular level. Pomegranate acts as the opener. Its polyphenols relax and repair blood vessels, allowing more oxygen and nutrients to reach every cell. This opens the highway for healing and performance throughout the body. Avocado is the builder. It supplies the healthy fats and micronutrients that your body uses to make hormones, especially testosterone and stress-balancing hormones. Avocado helps stabilize energy, supports the heart, and keeps your mood on an even keel. Banana is the sustainer. It provides immediate and long-lasting energy, stabilizes blood sugar, and brings critical minerals like potassium and magnesium that fuel muscles, nerves, and brain. When these 3 fruits are part of your daily routine, they work as a team. Pomegranate increases the delivery of nutrients by improving circulation. Avocado ensures the body can use those nutrients to make hormones and repair tissue. Banana gives you the steady energy and mental focus to make use of all this new vitality. It's like building a house. Pomegranate opens the door, avocado builds the rooms, and banana keeps the lights on all day long. As men age, weaknesses in different areas tend to appear. Poor blood flow, dropping hormones, and unreliable energy. Trying to fix one without the others is like repairing the engine in an old car, but leaving the tires flat or ignoring the battery. All systems need support together. Poor circulation affects memory, sexual health, healing, and even mood. Hormone decline impacts confidence, drive, muscle strength, sleep, and emotional resilience. Energy instability leads to irritability, fatigue, less physical activity, and withdrawal from social life. Pomegranate, avocado, and banana together create a feedback loop. Better blood flow improves hormone delivery. Stronger hormones boost energy and mood. Steadier energy lets you exercise, socialize, and sleep well, which in turn strengthens the heart and hormone balance. The benefits reinforce each other, day after day. The magic isn't just in the nutrients. It's in what happens when men build these habits into daily life. I've seen men form morning routines around their fruit-sharing pomegranate juice with a spouse, making avocado toast with a grandson, or peeling a banana while reading the newspaper. These simple acts anchor the day and become reminders that self-care is not selfish. It's essential. Doug, a 66-year-old in Pennsylvania, told me he started making fruit breakfast dates with his wife. Not only did both of them get healthier, but their marriage grew stronger as they spent more intentional time together. Even for men living alone, these fruits become little moments of daily investment. I've had patients keep bananas in their car for road trips, blend avocado into lunch smoothies, or freeze pomegranate seeds to sprinkle on yogurt. Each small step adds up. It's common for men to be skeptical. How can fruit change so much? They ask, but the real proof is in experience. Men who try this routine, even if they miss a day or two, report more stable energy, sharper memory, easier mornings, and a sense of being back in the driver's seat of their lives. The biggest challenge is simply getting started and sticking with it. But once the benefits appear, it becomes its own motivation. When a man regains his energy and zest for life, his whole family feels it. Grandchildren get a playmate back. Wives find a more present, attentive partner. Friends are inspired to join walks or lunch dates. I've seen entire communities change when a few men start showing up with renewed enthusiasm. One story that stands out is of Ben, a 75-year-old former teacher from Ohio, who, after 2 months on the trio, started organizing weekend nature walks with friends from his local church. "It's the best I've felt in a decade," Ben said. "And now the guys keep me accountable. They bring the bananas." You don't need to memorize complicated nutrition rules or chase expensive trends. You just need 3 fruits, 1 habit at a time, done with care and consistency. A glass of pomegranate juice or a handful of seeds, half an avocado with breakfast or lunch, 1 banana, every morning or as a snack. Over time, the effects add up. Better sleep, clearer thoughts, stronger relationships, more adventures, and a deeper sense of purpose. Aging can be a journey forward, not backward when you fuel it right. So tomorrow, as you start your day, remember the magic of 3. It's a small change, but it just might be the turning point you've been waiting for. You've heard the science. You've heard the stories. Maybe you're even feeling a glimmer of hope that real change is possible after 60 or 70 or even 80. But let's be honest, even the best advice can feel overwhelming. We all know how hard it is to change old habits, especially if you've tried before and slipped back into old routines. So how do you move from a burst of motivation to true transformation? How do you make the powerful trio of pomegranate, avocado, and banana a permanent part of your life, not just a short-term experiment? Let me walk you through the secrets of lasting change, drawn from real men across America who have rebuilt their energy, relationships, and joy for living one small step at a time. First, forget about perfection. Transformation is never about overhauling your entire life overnight. The men who succeed are the ones who start small, adding a banana to breakfast, or swapping out a snack for half an avocado. Maybe it's pouring a glass of pomegranate juice before your morning walk. Take the story of Tom, a 70-year-old retired engineer in Minnesota. Tom wanted to reclaim his strength and stamina, but he worried he'd fail like every other diet. I encouraged him to make just 1 change a week. The first week, he added a banana to his morning oatmeal. The next, he started drinking pomegranate juice every other day. By week 3, he sliced avocado on his lunchtime sandwich. Within 2 months, Tom wasn't just eating better. He was sleeping more soundly, had fewer aches, and even found himself laughing and joking more with his wife. "I didn't realize small things could add up to such a big difference," Tom told me. But they did. What transforms a fleeting habit into a lifestyle is making it personal, a ritual, not just a checklist. For some men, this means sharing their new habits with others. Bill, a retired truck driver from Ohio, started a fruit club with 2 of his buddies at the local diner. They'd meet every Saturday, each bringing a new recipe featuring pomegranate, avocado, or banana. It became more than food, it was camaraderie, laughter, and support. Others make their fruit routine a moment of mindfulness. Harold, a 74-year-old widower from California, started slicing his banana and avocado slowly each morning, eating breakfast by the window while watching the sunrise. This ritual anchored his day, reminded him to breathe deeply, and made him feel grounded. No journey is without obstacles. There will be days when you skip your fruit, grab a fast food breakfast, or fall back into old habits. The men who transform their lives aren't the ones who are perfect. They're the ones who keep going. Dennis, a former Navy officer from Texas, told me, "Doc, there were days I just couldn't be bothered. But instead of quitting, I told myself, tomorrow I'll get back to it." And the more I forgave myself, the easier it got to stay on track. If you forget a day, don't punish yourself. Just pick up again the next morning. Remember, consistency over time always beats intensity for a few weeks. Change sticks best when it's shared. Invite your spouse to try a new smoothie recipe with pomegranate. Challenge your son or daughter to make the best avocado toast. Take your grandkids grocery shopping and let them pick out bananas for the week. When your loved ones join you, it's easier and more fun to make new habits last. One of my patients, Ed, 75 from Pennsylvania, started a weekly Sunday breakfast where each family member brought a different fruit. Now even his grandchildren remind him, "Grandpa, don't forget your avocado." You don't need a fancy app. A simple notebook works wonders. Jot down what you ate, how you felt, any changes in sleep, mood, or energy. Over weeks and months, you'll notice patterns: days you have more pep, times when you sleep deeper, moments of mental clarity. These small victories are fuel to keep going. Walter, the retired principal from Georgia, kept a good days calendar. On days he felt especially energetic, he put a star on the date. Over time, his calendar filled up with stars, and so did his sense of confidence. Life isn't one size fits all. Maybe you're traveling, or on a tight budget, or don't love the taste of one of the fruits. That's okay. Get creative. Swap pomegranate juice for fresh seeds or mix into yogurt. Try mashed avocado on crackers, in wraps, or blend it into smoothies. Freeze banana slices for a cold snack, or add them to oatmeal or whole wheat pancakes. If you can't manage all three every day, aim for at least one or two. Some days you might double up on bananas. Other days focus on avocado. The point is to keep showing up for yourself. Don't wait until you feel young again to celebrate. Honor each week you stick with the habit, each new recipe you try. Every morning you wake up with a little more energy. Share your progress with friends, or join a local walking group, as many of my patients have done. The process itself is the reward. And when you look back, you'll see not only better health, but richer relationships, more purpose, and a renewed zest for life. And tell me, the best part of transformation isn't just physical. It's about feeling like themselves again, confident, resilient, willing to say yes to new adventures. It's the joy of being able to play ball with grandkids, take the lead in family gatherings, or simply enjoy the sunrise with a clear mind. Larry, a 78-year-old former high school coach in North Carolina, put it this way: "For the first time in years, I'm not just getting through the day, I'm living it. I feel like I have something to look forward to every single morning." Your roadmap, making change stick for life. Let's put it all together. Start small, one fruit, one habit at a time. Turn it into a ritual, make it personal, mindful, enjoyable. Forgive setbacks, get back up after you fall. Share the journey. Family, friends, or community make it easier. Track your wins, notice, and celebrate every bit of progress. Be flexible, adapt the trio to your real life, not someone else's. Live the process, find meaning in every step, not just the finish line. You deserve more than just extra years. You deserve energy, confidence, and purpose every day for the rest of your life. So tomorrow, peel that banana, Slice that avocado, pour that pomegranate juice. Take one small step. Keep stepping. The life you want is built one day, one choice at a time, and it starts now. In summary, the core message of everything we've shared today is simple but powerful. True vitality after 60 doesn't come from expensive supplements or complicated routines, but from building small, sustainable habits like adding pomegranate, avocado, and banana into your daily life. These three humble fruits, when combined, can help restore your energy, sharpen your mind, support your heart, balance your hormones, and bring you joy in the everyday moments that truly matter. By embracing these practical changes, you're not just choosing better health. You're choosing a richer, more engaged, and more confident chapter of life, starting right now. I encourage you, take what you've learned, try these simple habits, and notice the changes in your body and spirit. Share this message with your friends and family, because every man deserves to feel his best at any age. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more valuable health tips. Share this article with your loved ones, and leave a comment about the topics you care most about. Your questions and feedback inspire our next content. Wishing you strength, health, and endless vitality. See you in the next episode.